The Yarddog, which a lot of the Richards Hall of Fame would know, because this gentleman was the first ever winner of a contest that was in Hamilton. He brought his cousin Jason, who was playing for McMaster at the time. I think he had a tryout with the Ticats.
Yep.
But he has been really just an enormous part of what Dave and I have done since we started these shows. And we're so thrilled to have, ladies and gentlemen, the Yarddog in the studio.
Show.
Look
I think
at
it was the first tweet to come through, too.
Oh, it's first everything. first everything. Oh, buddy, thanks so much for joining us. And people have to realize, not only have you been a fan of ours, but you've been very busy busy in the podcast world before we were.
Yeah, but you were my inspiration. You listening to your show and then finally meeting you made me go, hey.
Anyone can do this. I think that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
I'm in too. Where's the microphone?
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Thanks Mike for the platform. Thank you. You, like I said, you did inspire me to start the Cigar Dungeon podcast. You were directly my inspiration for it. You and Anthony Bourdain I was like melding the two, right? Your passion for things and Anthony Bourdain kind of showing the behind the scenes of how things get made, right? I'm a big fan of bourbon and the history of bourbon and cigars and the history of cigars and the process from when it's planted in the field to when it comes to be a product on a shelf.
Yeah, you're by the way, so your podcast isn't just a bunch of guys sitting around smoking Tueros or something.
No.
Like, I mean, this is not the White Owl,
No.
the fake cigars dipped in what are they called? Colts? Remember that? Dipped in port or whatever it was with that tobacco came from Holland or wherever that stuff came from. And the one thing about it, and you being in that, and you really are in that world, you understand it very, very well, is that there's a sadness to me in that, we couldn't finish the show, go to a cigar lounge like I did maybe 20 years ago. You pick out your cigar, it's the experience of it. I mean, it's not like smoking. I'm not going outside. It's minus 20 so I can have my butt and go out there. I'm going to where Thomas Hines, for instance, used to be there in Yorkville. You'd sit down. You could have a little Cuban rum or, you know what I mean, a beautiful dark rum with whatever, maybe one of their Thomas Hines rolled cigars. And it's the experience of sitting down, talking, having a wee bit of whatever you want, scotch or Irish whiskey. And that's where you'd spend, an hour and a half, whatever. It's very social. And they're all gone. They're all gone. And the thing that kills me, and I think is so interesting, is that all of a sudden, like, you could be blowing weed, you could be marijuana, you can get almost anything you want, be very public about it, but it's the cigar smoker who all of a sudden is the evil one. I never got that, Kevin. So explain what they're doing now, because this is just another kind of slap in the face of what is, I think, a really classic. As much as people say, yeah, it's smoking. No, they're not even smoking. I was not a cigarette smoker. Still not a cigarette smoker. It was just a social event that no longer is allowed to be very social, I guess the way I put it.
Yeah, I'm here today as the voice of the cigar industry. I'm here today as the voice of the cigar industry, pretty much. I'm friends with a lot of the tobacconists. Victory Cigars in your end of the woods
Kevin,
in Oshawa.
Absolutely.
Village Cigar Company in Burlington. Cigar and Pipe Emporium in Hagersville. These are all people who are all friends of mine. My podcast is for the patrons of these stores. The fascist, tyrannical drama teacher that we have at the federal level right now.
With the fake eyebrows, or what was it? Yeah, right, sure. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he was in a boxing match once, and people talk about it. Yeah, that was a big match.
Yeah.
Huge match.
He spent tax dollars to come up with Bill S5, which is redundant because in Ontario, already if a kid goes into a convenience store, you can't see cigarettes.
Right, it's all whited out now. It's all behind
all covered up.
All behind, yeah.
As far as tobacconists go, you can't set foot in the door of a tobacconist without being 19 or over.
Right.
It's public record. You can go out. There's a website, federal, that will have all the infractions. If any tobacconist has ever had any infractions for selling to a minor, none of the 64 tobacconists in Ontario have ever been on that list. So this is a redundancy.
So the bill says what?
Bill S5 says that we are now going to take all packaging off of tobacco. When we came on, you've seen the picture of that Monte Cristo, which was not a really flashy band.
Let's show that up there. Yeah, okay, so we got it now.
Not a very flashy band to begin with.
No.
And then you have...
Classic.
Exactly.
It's the signature.
Yes. And then you have the one next to it, and it's just generic font, an ugly band somebody's going to have to put on, because the manufacturer's not going to do it. It's going to have to be done in Canada.
Right, so there goes the price again.
And it's just going to deter, it's going to increase the black market, because what's that band was used to decipher from the counterfeit cigars. Anybody that's been to Cuba has probably bought in counterfeit Cubans.
Almost I'd say 80% of the time they go, I got a box of Cohibas. No, you don't.
Yeah, I got a great deal.
Yeah.
No, there's no deals in Cuba. I'm
No,
sorry.
no. It's true.
And so there's nothing to stop those from taking the band off, making it on the. I can't tell the difference between one from the other once you take the band off.
Well, it will crush the ability of those that have been in that industry for years to make that quality cigar in the box that we recognize, in the labels that we recognize, with the accompanying artwork, which has always gone with a traditional cigar from whether it be Honduras or the Dominican. I mean, look, they come from everywhere. Jamaica, Mexico now. Mexico makes them. All these different areas. All of a sudden now, you've got this generic band that says this is what you're buying, and I'm gonna say, but which one is it? Oh, it's a number 7, blah blah blah. It's $58. How do I know that?
Yeah.
How do I know it's that's a $58 cigar? You might have taken it out of the bundle and put it. You don't think people are going to do that? That's exactly what they're going to do. For sure. Everybody's in business to make a buck. There's people in the bar business. You buy 10 cases on the liquor license, and you buy 10 cases off the liquor license, and you wash it into your product to be able to make money. Because the legislation and the taxes, that's the only way you can make money as a bar. Yeah. Because
when I buy a case of beer at the LCBO, they already say, yeah, you're paying this much in tax. Oh, I broke the case. Yeah, fuck you, pay me.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Here's another thing too. Your favorite rum is what? What's your favorite rum?
Jeez, that's hard to say now.
It's Bacardi, right? No?
Yeah, it's one of them. It depends,
Okay, so let's say it's Bacardi. It's the dark one, right? You're the dark one.
Yeah, black.
Bacardi black. But what if all of a sudden that label just said Bacardi rum?
Yeah, or just rum.
Or rum. Yeah, I'd probably more than likely just say rum.
Rum.
Yeah, which is.
Are you gonna feel good about paying the $62 or whatever that is for it?
Absolutely not. No.
We're going into communism, man.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing in Russia 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Here, it's vodka. What kind of vodka? It's vodka.
Yeah. Take it. Yeah, potatoes, or is it grain, or what? You wouldn't know.
Yeah. So that's what they want to do with the cigars. And it's wrong because, one, you're infringing on the free market, which I'm dead against. 2, you're infringing on artistic freedom. People come up with these artistic designs. They're actually quite beautiful. The boxes are gorgeous.
Boxes are awesome.
Yeah, they're artwork. They're artwork.
You keep the boxes once the cigars are gone.
Yeah. Nobody's keeping their De Maurier cartons.
No.
It's people want to lump in cigars and cigarettes. They're not the same.
No, they're a different universe. And by the way, this protectionism against targeting those underage to take your product. I mean, that's what all this is about. Well, there are about, I don't know, off the top of my head, if I'm going through the LCBO, when I see Pop Shop, Black Cherry, when I see Hires Root Beer, when I see beer cans that have like robots and stuff on them, going, who do you think that's for?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Those of age, and let's put it this way, if you're a cigar smoker, I don't know how many of them are 17 and 18 years old, because I just don't think that they're going in and saying, yeah, I'd like that. So the outside wrapper, I'm looking for a filler with Connecticut shade on the in, and I'm looking for a medium, maybe a Robusto, maybe a little strong. They're stealing from their, like we all did, from our mom's purse to get whatever the lowest end thing was to get in the liquor store wherever you happen to be. It wasn't a qualified, sort of dignified thing where I go, Dave, do you care to share an Arturo Fuente with me? They're not doing that. It has nothing to do with that. And a real reputable tobacconist, and by the way, as you mentioned them, they're quality people. They're not making millions of dollars. They do it because they love the culture of what cigar smoking is. So they're not allowing kids in there. And I got to be honest, if I went to Kevin right now at Victory Cigars in Oshawa and said, how many kids try to get in to buy cigars? You go, the little cigar, $17? And then for how many? No, for one.
Yeah.
You're out.
Yeah, zero.
Yeah. Or they're going in there, do you have Philly grape so I can wrap my weed?
Right,
I'm make a blunt.
Paper, yeah, paper. Like I seriously, I just wonder, because those are the things that in this society make me a little scared. So you have a drama teacher who will reach out and make sure that everybody and those that were offended 100 years ago. How's about dealing with the culture of what's going on right now? Because my son can't buy a house.
No,
our kids.
Right.
I don't know how you buy a house.
My daughter's fucked when it comes time to get a mortgage.
Like how, and even in Hamilton, where Hamilton is a better value, but now Hamilton's done this now. They put it on the list of, hey, great places to buy a home. So all of a sudden, these speculators, everybody else, went into Hamilton, and poof, there it goes.
Oh, yeah.
Barton Street, which I think you could get. I'm pretty sure you could trade some pop bottles in and get a house on Barton Street.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Now they're going in and I'm going. Where is the looking for our future generations and those to I mean pipelines? Can we get on that? Do we really need to be worried about someone who was offended on a boat that came across in 1917? Or do we have to get this deal together between BC and Alberta and that pipeline, the goofball who's the mayor in Montreal who said no pipeline, so all of a sudden you've got everyone in Eastern Canada fucking freezing or not going down the tubes. This is our guy. So to me, those are big issues. Whether an 18-year-old wants to buy a cigar, not as much to me.
And there's something just came out in the Gazette. I don't know who was speaking on it, but it was someone in Parliament. Basically said, we don't care if all these tobacco companies go under. We don't care if these small tobacconist shop owners go under. What are they going to do if they have to close up shop? Go work at Walmart?
Yeah.
Well, no, the Walmart job's being taken over by computers, so.
No, it's just, to me, it's just.
What's the timeline on this bill? What
Bill S5 has passed.
It's passed.
It's passed.
Yeah.
It's passed.
Okay.
What we are doing is we are applying for an exemption. I believe they're going in June.
No, when you say we, you're talking on behalf of the tobacconists.
Yes. On the behalf of the tobacconists. In July, I believe they're going to Ottawa, and they're applying for an exemption saying, listen, cigars are not cigarettes. We understand. We all understand we don't want to sell cigarettes to kids. All the tobacconists, all the cigar suppliers, we all agree on this. We are all compliant. We have always been compliant. Where we're pushing back is now you want to tell us what's good for us to put in our body, and I'm against that. I'm against the nanny state. I am against an infraction of any sort of freedom. If you infringe on my freedom, I am going to push back.
Yeah, and rightfully so.
And it's so redundant what they did at the federal level. When I said, in Ontario, you already can't go in any place and see the tobacco.
Yeah, so the provincial law has always stepped in and done that with cigarettes.
Yeah. So we're asking the feds, hey, just back off. Just leave premium cigars alone because it's not the same. The process is not the same. The chemicals that go into cigarettes is not in cigars. Cigarettes get turned over 30 days from when they pick it off the plant to when they put it in a cigarette. They add chemicals
and all
to
the
turn it over.
There's all those chemicals.
Well, the chemicals are to cure it and turn it over.
Right.
A cigar from when the tobacco's picked, minimum, you're looking at 9 months because it's a natural process.
Well, and then if you're aging it,
yeah,
if you're aging that,
you're looking 2 years or more.
Yes, 2 years or more.
So I'll give you a perfect example. When you smoke a cigarette, I don't smoke cigarettes, but I've noticed when people smoke cigarettes, you light the cigarette, you start smoking, you put it down, the cigarette keeps burning. You can go back 10 minutes later and pick it up and keep smoking. This cigar I have here, you can see it. I stopped smoking it and put it down. It went out by itself. It did not keep burning.
Right.
It didn't keep burning because it doesn't have those carcinogens, those cancer-causing carcinogens that we're all so worried about. The cigars are a natural, organic product. And it's not organic to be healthy. It's organic because it's a third world country and they can't afford the pesticides.
Put it this way. It is becoming harder to go into a place and smoke a cigar than it is for me to go into a place and get weed.
Yeah.
Now, I never would have thought that would be a thing.
No. And I'm not against the weed smokers.
And again, this is not to flabby. We've had Alan Park on, who has the Green Crush podcast. It's excellent. And these are people that, again, there's a reason why this has been made available. But what I'm saying is, then cigar. How is cigar the bad guy?
Yeah.
Because anyway. I just. I wish them best of luck, and of course we'll support them any way we can.
Yeah.
Kevin does many events. When Doug Gilmore used to have his Dougie Bowl, right down at the ballroom there in downtown Toronto, Kevin was always there. And
there are petitions around at your local tobacconist. So get to your local tobacconist, sign the petitions, and get out and vote every time it's time to vote, because the voter turnout in this country is terrible, and then we all bitch and complain that nothing gets done.
become best friends?
Yep.